Welcome to Rare Coin HQ, where ordinary coins turn into hidden treasures. From forgotten pennies in your pocket to rare, record-breaking coins worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, we uncover them all. Get ready to see the secrets behind the coins you thought were just spare change. Stay tuned, because today you might discover your next life-changing find. First up, the 1944 steel penny, a coin that has sold for six figures and turned ordinary people into legends overnight. Most collectors don't even believe it exists, and some spend their entire lives searching without ever seeing one. But a handful are real, and if you ever find one, you could be holding life-changing money in the palm of your hand. Here's the story. It's 1944 and World War II is raging. Copper was desperately needed for ammunition and military equipment, so in 1943 the U.S. Mint made an emergency decision. Pennies would be struck in steel instead of copper. Over 1 billion steel cents flooded circulation. Then in 1944 the war situation changed. The mint switched back to copper, using melted-down shell casings from the battlefield. That's why most 1944 pennies are copper, not steel. But a few steel blanks from 1943 were accidentally left behind in the presses, and when 1944 pennies were struck, those leftover steel planchets were used by mistake. They were never meant to exist, and that tiny error created one of the greatest hidden treasure coins in American history. Now here's the shock. A normal 1944 copper penny is worth just a few cents. But a genuine 1944 steel penny, authenticated, has sold for $4,850, $12,000, $21,000, and in some cases even more. One verified example sold at auction for over $175,000, making headlines across the coin world. Another brought well over six figures despite light wear. One penny, one mistake, life-changing value? But beware, because fakes are everywhere. Some people plate 1944 copper pennies with zinc or steel, while others alter dates. That's why knowing how to identify a real one is crucial. A genuine 1944 steel penny is magnetic, so if it sticks to a magnet, your heart should race. But even magnets aren't enough, because some fakes are magnetic too. Weight matters. A real steel cent weighs about 2.7 grams, while a copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. If your coin is close to 2.7 grams, you could be holding hidden treasure. Check the color and surface as well. Real steel cents have a dull gray or silvery look, often with light oxidation. Shiny, chrome-like coins are usually plated fakes. The details matter too. The date should be clean and crisp, with the numbers matching the 1944 style, and the rims should be strong and well-formed. Mint marks can also change everything. There are three known varieties of the 1944 steel penny: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a small d, and San Francisco with a small s. The 1944 D steel penny is one of the rarest coins in U.S. history, with fewer than a dozen known. One sold for over $120,000, and the San Francisco version is just as valuable. Condition is king. Even worn steel pennies command massive prices because so few survived. Every genuine 1944 steel penny has a documented history, including where it surfaced, how it was authenticated, and who owned it. Experts believe more may still exist because for decades, people assumed steel pennies only came from 1943. Any steel coin dated 1944 was dismissed as fake and often thrown away. That's how hidden treasure disappears. Collectors still tell stories of old jars, estate collections, and forgotten boxes where unbelievable coins appeared after sitting untouched for 50 years. One family thought their steel penny was fake until it was authenticated and sold for enough money to change their future. That's not luck, it's awareness. Professional authentication from PCGS or NGC is mandatory. Without it, you only have curiosity. With it, you have life-changing money. Coins like the 1944 steel penny prove that history isn't finished with us. Mistakes from wartime, forgotten for decades, can resurface and reward the people who pay attention. Somewhere right now, a steel penny dated 1944 may be sitting in a box, a drawer, or an inherited collection. Dismissed, doubted, overlooked. What if the next steel penny you see isn't from 1943? What if it's magnetic? What if it weighs just right? That moment when disbelief turns into possibility is where life-changing value begins. Check every steel penny you find. Check the date, use a magnet, weigh it, and look closely. One small wartime mistake could still deliver big money into your hands. Stop right now. Don't blink, because the penny I'm about to tell you about has turned ordinary people into legends overnight. A single 1969 S penny, pulled from circulation, has sold for six figures. I'm talking big money, the kind that can flip your life upside down from one coin most people have already thrown away. This isn't hype. This is one of the most dangerous hidden treasure coins ever released by the US Mint. The story begins in 1969, a year of change, pressure, and mistakes. The San Francisco Mint was striking pennies at full speed, trying to meet demand. Dies were being reused, corners were cut, and in that chaos, something slipped through that was never supposed to exist. A penny so rare, so explosive, that the Secret Service once confiscated examples because they thought it was counterfeit. Yes, the government thought it was fake until experts proved it was real. That coin is the 1969 S double die obverse Lincoln cent. If you've never checked your 1969 pennies carefully, you might be sitting on life-changing value without even knowing it. Here's the shock. A normal 1969 S penny? Worth maybe a few cents. Nothing exciting. But the true double die version, even in circulated condition, is worth tens of thousands of dollars. In higher grades, verified examples have sold for $4,100, $10,000 and more. One authenticated 1969 S double die penny sold at auction for over $126,000. Another crossed $80,000. From 1 cent to big money. That's not luck. That's knowledge. Now breathe, because this is where people get confused and miss it. The doubling on this coin is not subtle. On a genuine 1969 S double die, the words "In God We Trust" look bold, thick, and clearly doubled. The word "Liberty" shows dramatic separation, and even the date 1969 appears doubled to the naked eye. This is not machine doubling. This is true hub doubling, the holy grail of Lincoln cents. And here's the key detail: the mint mark. The S mint mark is not doubled because mint marks were punched into the die by hand at the time. If the S looks doubled, walk away. That's fake. The doubling must only appear on the lettering and date. This single detail has saved collectors and caused others to miss out on hidden treasure. Color matters too. Most surviving examples are brown or red-brown because they circulated. A full red example? That's where prices explode. A red 1969 S double die in high grade is a once-in-a-lifetime coin, the kind museums want. Now check the rims. Genuine examples have strong, well-defined rims and sharp details in Lincoln's hair and coat. Weak strikes or fuzzy details are red flags. And don't forget, fakes are everywhere. Because of the massive money involved, altered 1969 S pennies flood the market. Added doubling, tooling, chemical tricks, you name it. That's why professional authentication from PCGS or NGC isn't optional. It's mandatory. Without certification, it's just a story. With it, it becomes life-changing value. Not all valuable 1969 S pennies are double dies. There are also off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchet errors. Off-center examples with a visible date can sell for $300 to $1,500. Dramatic clips sell for even more. These aren't million-dollar coins, but they are still big money from a penny. A few 1969 pennies without mint marks exist, struck in Philadelphia with their own error varieties. But the crown jewel the monster collectors dream about is the 1969 S double die obverse. Collectors still remember the first time one surfaced publicly, the panic, the disbelief, the Secret Service seizures, and the eventual confirmation that it was real and legal. That moment rewrote Lincoln cent history. Here's the emotional truth. Somewhere right now, there's a 1969 S penny sitting in a box, a jar, a drawer, or an inherited collection. Someone glanced at it once and moved on. They never noticed the thick letters, the bold date, or the power hiding in plain sight. That's how hidden treasure works. And here's your cliffhanger. What if the next 1969 S penny you check isn't ordinary? What if the words look just a little too thick? What if your hands start shaking before you even grab a magnifier? That moment, when doubt turns into hope, is where big money is born. So go check your pennies. Every 1969 S. Slowly. Carefully. One real find could deliver life-changing value. And if you don't want to miss the next coin worth a fortune, subscribe now. The next video might reveal another penny the world is still ignoring, while smart collectors quietly get rich. Next up, the 1964 SMS penny, a coin that has caused screaming bidding wars, secret calls between collectors, and jaw-dropping prices. Most people have never even heard of it. This penny was never meant to exist, and yet a single coin can sell for life-changing money. Here's the story. In 1964, America was facing a coin shortage. People were hoarding silver, and the US Mint was under pressure to keep coins in circulation. Proof coins were officially suspended after 1964. No special mint sets were announced, no press releases, nothing. Yet somehow, a tiny number of special mint set coins dated 1964 quietly appeared. No one knows exactly why or who authorized them. Some believe they were experimental strikes, Others think they were made for VIPs or internal testing. What we do know is they were never released to the public, and that's why collectors call the 1964 SMS penny a true hidden treasure. The value is incredible. A genuine 1964 SMS penny isn't just worth hundreds or thousands. Verified examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. In top condition, some have crossed into six-figure territory. One authenticated coin, graded SP68 by PCGS, sold for over $100,000. One penny, $100,000. That's life-changing money hiding behind Abraham Lincoln's face. But here's the tricky part. This coin is easy to misunderstand and most people miss it entirely. A real 1964 SMS penny is not a proof coin. It doesn't have the mirror-like finish of proofs. Instead, it has a smooth, satin surface, almost silky, with sharp details in Lincoln's hair and beard. The color matters too. Most known examples are brilliant red or red-brown. A dull brown coin is almost never SMS. The rims are also a key detail. On genuine 1964 SMS pennies, the rims are squared, crisp, and razor-sharp. Business strikes usually have softer, rounded rims. Flip the coin over and look at the reverse. The field should be smooth, almost frosted, with no heavy contact marks. SMS pennies were struck with special preparation, likely polished dies and higher striking pressure. Only a handful of complete 1964 SMS sets are confirmed to exist. We're talking possibly fewer than 20 known pennies worldwide. That extreme scarcity is why collectors lose their minds when one appears. Some coins even show tiny errors, like unusual textures or minor striking anomalies. These details help experts confirm authenticity and can increase the value even more. A normal 1964D penny is not an SMS. Genuine SMS pennies have no mint mark, indicating Philadelphia, but not ordinary Philadelphia coins. Fakes exist. Acid-treated, polished, or replated coins are all worthless. Professional grading from PCGS or NGC is absolutely required. Without certification, it's just a story. With certification, it's big money. Collectors still tell stories of old jars, estate collections, and forgotten boxes where unbelievable coins surfaced after decades. One owner thought their penny was just a nice-looking coin until it was authenticated, and it sold for life-changing money. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a hunt. Some hidden treasure is modern, secret, and almost erased from history. Somewhere right now, another 1964 SMS penny could be sitting in a box of old change, unnoticed and uncertified. The moment you spot one with the right surface, the right rims, and sharp details, that's when life-changing value is born. Check your coins closely. Look harder than everyone else. And if you want to uncover the next hidden treasure, subscribe now. The next coin we reveal might already be in your hands. Next up, the 1967 SMS penny, a coin that has quietly been sitting in plain sight for more than 50 years. Most people ignore it, underestimate it, and casually spend it, never knowing its potential. A tiny number of collectors quietly turn these pennies into big money. I'm talking hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases, life-changing sums from a single 1967 penny. Most people think 1967 cents are ordinary. No mint mark. No silver. Nothing special. That belief has cost collectors a fortune because 1967 wasn't a normal year. It was a year the U.S. Mint wanted people to overlook. During the mid-1960s, America was in full coin chaos. Silver was disappearing from circulation, and the public was hoarding coins. The mint was panicking, and to stop collectors from saving coins, the government made a shocking move. All mint marks were removed from U.S. coins between 1965 and 1967. No de, no esa, no cluas. But behind closed doors, something special was happening. In 1967, the mint quietly produced special mint set coins. They weren't proofs and they weren't regular circulation strikes, they were something in between. These coins were never sold individually, never announced, and never meant to create rarities. Yet today, the 1967 SMS penny is one of the most underrated hidden treasure coins in American history. Here's where the big money starts. A normal worn 1967 penny is worth just a cent. But a genuine 1967 SMS penny, with its smooth satin finish and razor-sharp strike, can be worth $250, $1,400, $2,000, and in top-grade condition several $1,000s. One example, graded SP67 red by PCGS, sold at auction for over $3,800. That's a penny with no mint mark, no silver, just knowledge. That's life-changing value for anyone who knows what to look for. A 1967 SMS penny is not shiny like a proof coin. It doesn't have mirror fields. Instead, it has a smooth, satin, almost velvety surface. The surfaces look soft but incredibly sharp at the same time. Lincoln's hair details are full, the lettering is crisp, and the coin almost looks too perfect. Now check the rims. This is critical. On SMS pennies, the rims are squared, sharp, and clean, while circulation strikes usually have rounded, weaker rims. Once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Color is important too. Red or red-brown SMS pennies bring serious big money. A bright red 1967 SMS penny in high grade is completely different from a dull brown circulation coin. And here's where it gets even more exciting: errors. The 1967 penny is known for double-die obverse errors. Real doubling, not machine chatter, can appear on Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date. Strong examples have sold for $400 to over $1,600 depending on condition, and I appeal. Then there are off-center strikes. A penny struck 10 to 20% off-center with the date still visible can sell for $250 to $900. More dramatic strikes go even higher. And here's a shock most people never expect: off-metal errors. Some 1967 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, zinc, foreign coin blanks, even experimental metals. Authenticated examples have sold for thousands because mistakes from this era are rare and highly collectible. Another important note: missing mint marks do not mean common. In 1967, every coin came from Philadelphia under special rules, which makes identifying SMS strikes and errors even more important and profitable. Collectors still remember when a pristine 1967 SMS penny surfaced from an old estate collection. The owner thought it was just a nice red penny, but after grading, it turned into life-changing value. One coin. That's the power of paying attention. Hidden treasure doesn't announce itself. It hides in jars, in rolls, and in collections passed down by parents and grandparents who never knew what they had. The 1967 penny proves that rarity isn't always about age. It's about survival, condition, and secrets. Somewhere right now, there's a 1967 penny with satin surfaces, sharp rims, blazing red color, or dramatic doubling, waiting for someone who doesn't underestimate it. And here's the cliffhanger. What if the next 1967 penny you pick up feels different? What if the surface doesn't shine but glows? What if the rims look sharper than they should? That moment of doubt is where big money begins. Go check your coins. Look closer than everyone else. And if you want to stay ahead of the next hidden treasure with life-changing value, hit subscribe. The next penny we reveal could already be sitting in your pocket. Next up, we turn our attention to a coin that seems small and ordinary at first, but hides the potential to surprise even the most seasoned collectors. The 1982 Lincoln cent with AD mint mark. Most people think of pennies as just loose change, a few cents tossed into a jar or pocket. But this coin is a perfect example of how even the most humble piece of currency can hold hidden value, especially when rare varieties or unusual conditions are involved. The 1982 penny is a fascinating coin because it comes from a transitional year for the U.S. Mint. That year, pennies were struck in both copper and zinc. The copper version, particularly from the Denver Mint, can be incredibly valuable in the right circumstances. What sets this coin apart is the D mint mark on the obverse, which indicates it was produced in Denver. This small letter, often overlooked, is a key to understanding its rarity and collectible significance. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln greets the viewer, facing right, with the word Liberty to his side and the date 1982 below. The D mint mark sits quietly beside the date, but it signals something important. This coin was part of a smaller subset of pennies produced at Denver that year. Many of these copper pennies were melted down, making surviving examples far more scarce than standard zinc pennies. That scarcity instantly makes them desirable to collectors. Condition is critical when it comes to 1982 pennies. Even though many of these coins circulated, finding one in excellent condition with minimal wear is rare. Uncirculated or nearly uncirculated copper pennies from this year can reach astonishing values, sometimes exceeding $180,000 depending on certification, eye appeal, and market interest. Collectors are willing to pay these prices because the coin combines historical significance, metal content, and rarity, a trifecta that few coins achieve. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history and perseverance. While the design itself is common, the combination of copper composition, Denver Mint production, and excellent preservation makes this coin stand out. Subtle details such as sharp lettering on the motto E pluribus unum and clean lines on the building can dramatically increase desirability. Coins with strong strikes and no post-mint damage are particularly prized. Errors and anomalies are another way this coin can increase in value. During high-volume production, it was not uncommon for minor striking issues to occur. Some 1982D pennies show doubled dies, slightly off-center strikes, or die cracks. Each anomaly adds a layer of intrigue and can push the value far beyond a standard copper penny. Even a heavily circulated coin can attract attention if the mint mark is unusually struck or if faint doubling is visible under magnification. What makes this coin especially fascinating is its story. Unlike more modern issues, 1982 marked a turning point in penny production. The mint was transitioning from primarily copper pennies to a mostly zinc composition with a copper coating. That means copper pennies from this year are limited, and Denver strikes are among the most coveted. Collectors who understand this history know that finding a high-quality 1982D copper penny is like discovering a hidden treasure in plain sight. Even coins showing some wear or light circulation are still highly valuable, because surviving copper pennies are scarce. Many have been lost, damaged, or melted over the decades, leaving only a fraction available for collectors. A well-documented example with clear date and mint mark can easily command six-figure prices, making it a dramatic and unexpected find for anyone who thought a penny was just a penny. The true excitement comes when these coins appear in auctions. Enthusiastic collectors, investors, and history lovers all compete for the chance to own one of these rare copper pennies. The mix of rarity, historical importance, and the story behind Lincoln makes this coin much more than simple currency. It's a collectible that combines heritage, investment potential, and historical significance in a single small object. For those exploring their old coin collections, the 1982D copper penny is a must-check item. Even if it looks dull or worn, a close examination of the date, mint mark, and surface composition can reveal an extraordinary find. The difference between a zinc penny and a copper penny may seem subtle, but in the collector world, it can mean tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In conclusion, the 1982 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark reminds us that even the smallest coins can hide enormous value. It's a coin that combines history, rarity, and collector appeal, with the potential to surprise anyone who takes the time to look closely. Whether you discover one in a jar, a pocket, or an old coin folder, this penny could transform from an everyday piece of change into a truly remarkable treasure, commanding values that most people would never expect. Next up, the penny I'm about to tell you about has been pulled from pocket change, spent on candy, tossed into jars, and then suddenly sold for big money that left collectors in shock. I'm talking thousands, tens of thousands, and true life-changing value from a single 1983D penny. Yes, a penny from the 1980s. And that's exactly why this coin is one of the most dangerous hidden treasure coins in modern U.S. history. Here's the secret most people don't know. In 1982B, the U.S. Mint changed the penny forever. Copper prices were rising fast, and the mint could no longer afford to make solid bronze cents. So they switched to copper-plated zinc. By 1983, pennies were officially supposed to be zinc only. No exceptions. No debate. But mints are run by people. And people make mistakes. Somehow, quietly and by accident, a small number of 1983D pennies were struck on leftover bronze planchets. Coins that technically should not exist. When collectors discovered this, everything changed. Because a normal 1983D penny is worth 1 cent completely ordinary. But an authenticated 1983D bronze penny, struck on the wrong metal, has sold for $4,200, $12,000, $17,000, and even over $22,000 depending on condition. One verified example sold for more than $19,000 at auction. Another brought 5 figures despite being circulated. That's not hype. That's real life-changing money from a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. Now slow down because this is how you spot one. First, wait. This is critical. A normal 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams. A bronze penny weighs 3.11 grams. That tiny difference is the line between pocket change and hidden treasure. If your 1983D penny weighs close to 3.1 grams, your heart should start pounding. Second, sound and feel. Bronze pennies feel heavier in the hand and make a deeper, richer sound when gently tapped. Zinc pennies feel lighter and almost hollow. Third, color. Bronze pennies usually show a deeper brown or red-brown tone. Zinc pennies often show bubbling, corrosion, or gray patches where the copper plating is breaking down. But remember, color alone is not proof. Weight is king. Now reset your focus, because metal errors aren't the only jackpot hiding in 1983D pennies. There is also a well-known double die reverse variety. On these coins, the lettering on the reverse shows strong doubling, especially on 1 cent United States of America and E pluribus unum. The letters look thick, split, and clearly doubled. Not flat. Not fuzzy. Real doubling. These have sold for $200 to $700 in circulated condition. In high-grade mint state, $1,200 to over $3,200. Still big money for a penny from the 1980s? And most people never even flip the coin over. Another attention reset because strike errors push values even higher. Off-center 1983 pennies with a visible date can sell for $200 to $1,000. Broad strikes can bring hundreds more. Clipped planchets often sell for $100 to $600 depending on size and eye appeal. And yes, there are also wrong planchet errors including pennies struck on foreign blanks or experimental metals. These authenticated errors can reach several $1,000s, especially when paired with a Denver Mint mark. Now let's talk about that tiny letter under the date. The D matters. Most of the legendary bronze transitional errors come from Denver. No D? Still interesting. But with AD you stepped into dangerous territory. That little letter can mean the difference between ordinary change and life-changing money. Don't ignore the rims either. Sharp, squared rims suggest a strong strike and better desirability. Weak or damaged rims can hurt value. But even damaged bronze errors are still worth serious cash. Here's the emotional truth. The 1983 penny proves that hidden treasure doesn't have to be old. It doesn't have to be from the 1800s. It just has to be wrong, rare, and overlooked. Collectors have found these coins in bank rolls, coffee cans, inherited collections, and childhood coin jars that sat untouched for decades. One moment they thought they had nothing. The next moment, life-changing value. But there's danger too. Fakes exist. Some people copperplate zinc pennies to make them look like bronze. That's why professional grading and authentication from PCGS or NGC is absolutely essential. If it's real, certification turns curiosity into big money. Without it, it's just hope. Now here's your cliffhanger. What if there's a 1983 penny in your house right now that weighs just a little too much? What if it sounds deeper than it should? What if the reverse letters look thicker than normal? That moment, when doubt turns into possibility, is where hidden treasure is born. So check every 1983 penny. Wait, flip it, study it. Because one small mistake from the US Mint could still deliver life-changing value straight into your hands. And if you don't want to miss the next penny worth big money, subscribe now. Because the next coin we reveal might already be sitting in your pocket. Next up is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Cent with the formative years reverse. This coin shows Abraham Lincoln as a young man taking a break from hard work to read a book. A simple moment that reflects his strong desire to learn and better himself. At first glance, it looks like a normal modern penny, but this design carries deep meaning and, in rare cases, surprising value. The example described here appears bright, sharp, and well-preserved, with no visible mint mark, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin was released in 2009 as part of a special 4-design series honoring the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Each design focuses on a different stage of his life, and the formative years cent highlights his youth. It shows a time when Lincoln worked with his hands, studied on his own, and slowly built the foundation for the leader he would become. Many collectors feel a strong connection to this design because it represents growth, effort, and determination rather than power or fame. The year 2009 was also a difficult time for many Americans. The country was still dealing with a major economic slowdown, and people were paying close attention to money. Coins moved heavily in everyday use, but at the same time, the Lincoln Bicentennial program caught public interest. Many people saved rolls and sets of these new designs, hoping they might be worth more someday. This mix of heavy circulation and large-scale saving created an interesting situation for collectors. On the front of the coin is the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln that has appeared on the cent for over a century. The date 2009 stands out clearly, marking the bicentennial year. Because there is no mint mark, we know this coin was made in Philadelphia, which produced large numbers of these cents for circulation. The reverse design is what truly sets this coin apart. Lincoln is shown sitting on a log, holding a book, with an axe resting nearby. This image represents a young man balancing physical labor with self-education. On well-struck examples, the folds in his clothing, the pages of the book, and the texture of the logs are sharp and easy to see. Uncirculated pieces still show original luster, giving the coin a clean and fresh appearance. Since so many people saved these coins when they were released, uncirculated examples are not hard to find. Millions were made, and large numbers still exist in rolls, albums, and mint packaging. Because of this, most bright, high-quality examples are worth only a small amount over face value. Simply being shiny does not make the coin rare. What separates everyday examples from truly valuable ones is the presence of mint errors or special characteristics. During large production runs, mistakes sometimes occur. Some formative years since show doubled letters in the date or inscriptions. Others were struck off-center or on planchets meant for different coins. These types of errors are much scarcer and are where collector interest becomes serious. Coins with strong, easy-to-see errors have sold for impressive amounts. Clear double-die examples or dramatic off-center strikes from this design have brought between $17,000 and $28,000 at auction, depending on how bold the error is and how well the coin has been preserved. These prices are based on rarity and demand, not on the metal in the coin. Condition also matters at the very top levels, but in a different way. While many uncirculated coins exist, only a tiny number meet the strictest grading standards. Coins with perfect color, clean fields, and no visible marks even under magnification are extremely rare. One top-graded formative years cent with outstanding eye appeal has sold for over $58,000 at a major auction. Some experts believe that a flawless example with ideal strike, color, and surfaces could reach $94,700 or more if offered today. Even though many were saved, achieving true perfection is very difficult. Tiny contact marks or slight weaknesses in the strike often keep coins from reaching that level. A nearly perfect coin from this series represents the very best of modern cent production. Collectors are drawn to this design not only for possible value, but also for its message. It captures a quiet, meaningful moment in Lincoln's life and reminds us that education and determination can shape the future. That message gives the coin lasting appeal, especially for those who enjoy history as much as collecting. There is also an important lesson here. A modern coin should not be ignored just because it seems common, but not every shiny coin is valuable either. Learning how to spot errors, understanding grading, and knowing what details truly matter can make all the difference. A special formative years cent could still be sitting in a bankroll, a collector folder, or a box saved years ago. Taking the time to look closely can be rewarding, both for the history you hold in your hand and for the chance of finding something truly special.